So 2013 is kicked off, and I'm really interested in how it's going to affect the troops, especially in Afghanistan, if we're all going to be coming home if they're all going to be coming home this year or whatnot. But if you guys were watching on New Year's Day, a really awesome thing happened during the Rose Parade. They actually brought a soldier back to surprise his family during the parade. Did any of you guys see that?
I missed it.
Yeah, it was amazing. On live TV,
Yeah.
they brought a soldier home, and he surprised his family in the middle of the parade. It was covered and had a lot of publicity. But what was even more awesome was they did it right in front of the Military Working Dog float. Right? The Military Working Dog National Monument had a float in the parade sponsored by Natural Balance, and they did an amazing job. And for me personally, because I was a military dog handler.
You were a dog guy, yeah.
And even if you're not a dog person, everyone loves dogs. And so the National Military Working Dog Monument, which is going to be dedicated this year in 2013, Natural Balance built a float, and on the float they had some Marine Corps handlers, which served in Afghanistan with their dog Luca. A World War II dog handler sat on the float, as well as a Vietnam dog handler, Mr. John Burnham, who got the monument created. And a couple other handlers, all representing from different branches, and I thought it was great. It had a lot of publicity, and it was a special New Year's Day. So
that's
really
cool.
That deserves some special 2013 music.
Let's give us a little Happy New Year music there, yeah. All right. Cool.
Okay, and with that, we're going to kick off our show. Welcome to Veterans Nation. My name is Mike Dowling. I'm here along with Miss Kelly Smith, Mr. Rydell Danzy, and our producer, Mr. Rick Seaman, who is standing in for Trevor Scott, who's actually he's out on a mission currently right now. Isn't that right?
That is right. I will try and fill his shoes.
You'll fill his shoes in nicely. So, Rick, I want to ask you, how's our latest poll going right now? What's going on with that?
Well, our poll question was the one we put up on combat on children's video games, right?
Right. How do vets feel about
It's only been up a short while, but we've got a lot of responses, a good number of responses. And what's interesting is on our poll, you can actually add comments too. So on this particular subject, we're getting a lot of comments, and they're pretty interesting. And it's only been a few days, and we've got several hundred votes in. So
great,
it's really good. Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Oh, Kelly, which way did you vote?
Well, I can't tell you, or I'd have to kill you.
Oh, okay. Rick, is the poll still open?
Oh yeah, it's still running. Absolutely, it's going to go for a while. And if our viewers want to get on it, you just go to the icon on our main page for the poll, and there it is.
At veteransnetwork.net.
veteransnetwork.net.
Okay, great. Well, let's kick the show off, okay?
Let's get going. Yeah.
Kelly, why don't you please send us the report?
Absolutely. We got some news in from Washington, D.C. I think this is probably some good news for vets out there. A 2012 annual homeless assessment report prepared by the HUD, which is Homes and Urban Development, and presented to Congress shows a 7.2% decline since 2011 in the number of veterans who are homeless. VA Secretary Eric Shinseki said the decrease is largely attributable to the HUD Veterans Affairs Supporting Housing, or the HUD VASH program. More than 37,000 veterans have been housed using the HUD Section 8 vouchers, along with VA's supportive case managers, also known as supporting services for veterans and families. The VA has also increased its grant money for 2012 and 2013 to $300 million for organizations around the country combating homelessness. Also, the VFW has included ending homelessness as a top priority for 2013.
Well, what I've got here, Kelly, is I've got a talking paper sent to us by the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and
great organization.
Mike, great organization, no doubt. And this paper is on sequestration. And it begins like this, starting with background. The Budget Control Act of 2011 raised the federal debt ceiling with future plans to offset the increase with a corresponding decrease in discretionary spending over a 10-year period. A bipartisan Joint Select Committee on Deficit Reduction was created to identify what federal accounts to reduce. As an added incentive, an automatic 10% across the board sequester, which is basically a seizure of money, would kick in at the beginning of the next Congress should the super committee fail to act, which it did. So barring an unforeseen development in the remaining 112th Congress, mandatory sequestration will occur in January of 2013, which is right now. Here are the concerns of the VFW. The President and the VA Secretary have assured that sequestration will not impact any VA accounts. But the VFW will continue to monitor how the effects of sequestration might impact future VA budgets, especially in medical and prosthetics research, maintenance and construction, administration, and those programs identified in the government's 10 for 10 plan. What that is, that's a 10% reduction for the following 10 programs. These 10 programs will be on the super committee's radar scope. And here's the list of the 10 programs that will get a 10% cut. Number one, it will change the 20-year military retirement plan to resemble civilian plans. It will increase health care premiums for military families and retirees on TRICARE. It will increase pharmaceutical fees for military families and retirees. It'll reduce the cost of living allowance increases. It will end government subsidies to military commissaries. It will eliminate, I love this one, it'll eliminate DOD elementary schools stateside. It will eliminate DOD tuition reimbursement programs for service members. It will eliminate presumptive service-connected conditions for disabled and ill veterans. It will lock out or increase fees for VA Priority 7 and 8 veterans. And it will freeze military pay like civilian pay, which will now see a third consecutive year without a raise. So,
That sounds awful.
it's bad, yeah. If this whole mess doesn't get cleared up, these 10 points are what could be effective because they call it the 10 for 10 plan. 10% reduction on these 10 points or programs. Excuse me. Now the VFW says here's what we have to do as veterans. And it's obvious. We have to address our elected officials at every level and at every opportunity. Current budget realities are forcing hard choices in Congress and in agencies and departments across the executive branch. And the VFW recognizes this, but also recognizes that balancing the budgets on the back of disabled veterans, those in uniform, their families, and military retirees is not the proper solution. And it could jeopardize the continued success and viability of the all-volunteer force, which, we know this. You just don't start treating the veterans right. Who's going to want to sign up a year or so from now? So, what do you think, guys?
I think that's it's not right at all. And then personally, just thinking to my own people that I work with, that affects the Guard and Reserve even more because we get such fewer benefits than active duty for doing the exact same job.
Right.
And whenever they want to make changes, it's funny how they always look to the veteran programs and benefits first.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So is this, Rick, so when you mentioned something about, making our voices heard, is this something where if veterans as a whole start writing their congressmen and saying something like, this is affecting my life, this is affecting my
Absolutely.
husband or wife's life or their medical
Absolutely.
disability.
I mean, the VFW suggests we all do this, and of course, they're right. And we should be doing this, and we should have been doing this for a long time.
So they laid out a plan of action for us.
Yeah.
So basically, we just need to distribute this information to people so that we all know about it and can actually do something about it.
Right, yeah. Knowledge is golden, and making noise is even better, you know?
Well, thank you, Rick. Thanks
Sure,
for sharing that
sure.
info.
Thanks to VFW for sending us that.
Stay with us. We're going to take a quick break.
Hello, I'm VFW Commander-in-Chief John Hamilton. I want to let you know about some serious issues that could have disastrous effect for America's veterans and what you can do to help. With mandatory sequestration looming in January and the fierce budget negotiations that lie ahead, the discretionary program budgets of the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Department of Defense are in danger of being slashed. The VFW believes that the VA and DoD programs and services outlined in last year's 10 for 10 plan could be eliminated or reduced by budget cutters who have never been to war. I'm asking you to do two very important things. Please let Washington know that you will not tolerate any plan that requires those who serve and sacrifice the most to do even more. And join me in supporting the VFW's 2012 year-end campaign. The VFW programs deliver vital assistance to veterans who might otherwise fall through the cracks. With the uncertainty in Congress right now, your support means more than ever. The waves of new veterans recently home from the Middle East need our help. The VFW is here for every veteran of every war. No one does more for veterans. Please, I ask you to stand with me and make a donation to VFW to help protect America's veterans. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back. Kelly, Rick, you guys have shared a lot of information, useful information for veterans, and I hope everyone takes action. And, we started the show positive. I like to end the show positive. Rydell, dude, I think you got something that we can close out on, right?
Yeah, it always touches me in a soft place, and let's look at some troops coming home.
Perfect. Well, you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for hanging with us today. See you next time.
Bye.
This won't be easy, but I have to try. I'll have to leave in dead winter and come back in July. Get him! He's crazy, you forget. But if this does anything, and it will, you'll see. I'm gonna do everything to put you next to me. Do you remember Dad?
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
Honey, do you remember Dad?
I missed you so bad, honey. I'm so sorry I went away.
Tell you what I've tried a million other times. But how could I lead my life and always say truth but never dare? This won't be easy, but I have to try. I'll have to leave in dead winter and come back in July. But if this does anything, and it will, you'll see. I'm gonna do everything to put you next to me. This is keeping me up, so I decided to just give in, call it a night. I thought out of different ways to tell you what I've tried a million other times.
Hannah.
But how could I lead my life and always say truth but never dare? So I decided to just give in, call it a night. I thought out of different ways to tell you what I've How are you? And always say truth, but never. How could I lead my life? And always say truth, but never tell.
That ain't gonna work. You're going home. We don't want to see you for at least a week. You take care of that kid.